Hey, it's John and Mike from brew-dudes.com coming at you again with another comparison video of two beers brewed the same way, but with one ingredient that's different. And this time we did a base malt change. Got some, I guess it's specialty malt. It's more of craft. A small farm in Colorado makes its own grain and malts it. And got this from Northern Brewer. This is the Genie Pale Ale from a Root Shoot Malting. And it caught my eye and said, well, I've done, all kinds of smash beers with hops. Why don't we change that single portion of it to the malt and see how that goes? So this is single malt, single hop beer. The hop is Chinook. Got some Yakima Chief Chinook hops, and we used basically this is a packet of 1 ounce, so half ounce went into one beer, half ounce went into another, just a 60-minute bittering charge. 2 pounds of malt went to each of these beers. I like to do 1 gallon batches. I feel like two pounds goes nicely into a finished beer or a finished wort of 1 gallon to go into the fermenter. And use some spring water, and the yeast, of course, is US-05 dry yeast. And so this isn't really a comparison of trying to figure out if it's a better malt. I just want to see if we can taste a difference, and then what are you tasting in terms of the difference? Because as you know, you could get the run-of-the-mill Rahr 2-row for a cheap price, or you could level up a bit to get one of these craft maltsters product and see if that brings something to your beer. So again, 2 different beers. I'll let Mike take a taste. And what do you think about these beers?
On the nose, I get more of like a pretzel roll type of aroma on this as far as the malt goes. Sort of like that brown exterior type thing.
Sure.
This one is just more sort of, it's a little bit grainy, but I would just sort of classify it in that standard 2-row-ness. This one seems to be, there's just something a little more punchy, a little bit more inviting, even though this one is a slightly lighter in color than the other one, ever so slightly. You probably can't tell with my green shirt. This one seems to have a lighter body to me overall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely it's lighter. I think the flavor profile doesn't punch me as with that pretzel roll thing, but I like the aroma more than but the flavor is just pretty. It's relatively neutral, but it's definitely got a lighter body presence overall.
Okay.
Than this one. This one sort of tastes like it smells from a grain standpoint. Both of them, man, that sea hop Chinook is like biting into a grapefruit that has no fruit in it. I mean, it is bitter,
yep,
and pithy, dank, if you will. There's a little bit of grapefruit in there, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it really delivers on that early 2000, late 90 classic American sea hop, pithy, resiny-ness thing.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe even a little bit. Maybe it's even actually pushing for Chinook too. It's pushing that garlicky onion thing for me.
Yeah. I would always use Cascade just because I think we're used to that. But I had this packet of Chinook and said, hey, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
A half an ounce.
We don't use Chinook too often for anything that we brew.
That is true. The only Chinook that I use are the ones that grow up in my backyard, and I'm, some years are better than others. Certainly not as grapefruit as the ones.
I think your terroir is quite different than Chinook in the Pacific Northwest.
I think so too. Okay, so what are your final thoughts on these 2 beers, and I'll reveal which one's which.
I mean, I really like the aroma base on this one. I don't know why.
Okay.
This one seems to be more versatile all around because it's delivering the same flavor, the same aroma altogether. What I get on the nose, I'm getting somewhat in the thing. And there's a little more physical body and fullness to it.
Okay.
So I don't know if I it would be different applications, right? If I really wanted something light, whatever, this guy.
Yep.
This is almost like Pilsner malt with a little bit of like aromatic, or like, pumped in there. And this just seems like
More Munich-y?
No, just too rowy.
All right.
More too rowy
Okay,
to me.
okay.
But it is a little darker in color, so I could very well be way off here.
I think you should lean into the color.
Yeah. So is this the crafty malty one?
Yeah. It's only a little bit dark. I mean, it's like the Lovabond's like 2.3.
Yeah.
I think Rahr is like 1.8.
Cameras. I mean, I just can't get it.
I know. I can see with my eye, but it is a little darker.
Yeah.
So the one on your right is the root shoot pale malting Genie Pale Ale malt, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Has lighty malty flavor with notes of bread and honey, more flavorful than a traditional two-row base malt. An excellent all-round malt for any style of beer. They are crafted to highlight the individual characteristics and terroir of the Loveland, Colorado grown grains. So yeah, I think that was pretty
A little more dynamic.
Good.
I mean, it's gotten a little warmer too.
Yep.
Without trying to let myself be influenced by the descriptors, but it is. But I did, for me, I mean, this one is a little more interesting. The only redeeming quality I had in this one is, for some reason, that very first couple whiffs.
Yeah, I got what you mean.
It's not as strong now, but it had that nice, like, maybe I'm just craving like a pretzel roll.
A big soft.
And I haven't had like a sandwich on a nice pretzel roll in a while. But yeah, that's the gig here. This one, like I said, it has a little more body, and the flavor matches the aroma profile. So you could work with this in a smash. Probably, there's some character there.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
So it delivers on its description for sure. And if you were looking to bring a little bit more oomph from your base malt, this would be a good choice, I think. I didn't want to read the descriptors, but I did. I'm trying to like pull out. It is just, there is a little bit more. I guess honey's a good descriptor.
I can just barely pull something like that off the nose. Yeah, it's subtle. It's subtle.
It's quite subtle. I mean, it's a pale base malt, really, so we're not talking about a specialty malt here. So anything that you're going to read as a descriptor, they're going to be like notes, hints of different flavors. But I just thought this would be an interesting one. I love being able to take, a half day and brew up 2 batches of beer with the certainly with the malt side of things. You kind of have to do 2 batches. So I think that was a good Saturday. So high marks for the Genie Pale Malt from Root Shoot Malting. If you see it and you want to give your beer a little bit more character, certainly give it a try.
It's definitely worth exploring smaller, local, if you will, craft malt houses. There's more and more of them popping up.
That's true.
Look in your area and see what's available.
I know there are a few around here in our state as well. All right, so check it out. This is another great beer comparison video. Hopefully you learned some things. And I think that from the ones that we've brewed with, certainly the descriptors, they do pass on to the final beer. And again, it's one of those things that you can feel good about paying the extra bucks and bringing those different characteristics to the recipe you have in front of you. So for John and Mike, brew-dudes.com, brew on.
Cheers.